guy most of the time. I try to be that way in the way I live my life, the way I try to look at things. My glass is always half full versus half empty. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, is it hard to continue to try to think that way when it comes to all things Toronto FC. More than anything last night, there were two things that stood out for me as TFC lost again at home to the Seattle Sounders, 1-0 on a free kick in the 89th minute by Freddie Montero. A very well taken free kick, to his credit. He looped the ball in around the wall, and Stefan Frey got his fingertips on it, but unfortunately couldn't stop the ball from staying out of the net. It was a bit of a soft call on Donnell Henry just outside the box from Yada Reyes, same referee, by the way, who's been fairly controversial in a couple of games this year for Toronto FC. But more than anything else, when that game was over, when injury time was over, for the first time this season, not a single player on that field came over to our section 113 in the south end of the building. That's usually filled with hundreds of screaming and yelling supporters that are there through thick and thin, and Lord knows there's been a hell of a lot of thin this year. My voice is still shot from all of the anger, which I'm trying to keep under control today, to be perfectly candid with you. But at the end of the game, those players disappeared faster than lightning. No coach, no Aaron Vinter, no Bob de Klerk, and none of the players on the bench or on the pitch came over and did their usual clap. After the 6-2 game, the Philly game, the absolute roasting that they received at home a few weeks ago, that was up until yesterday, for me, the low point of the season, because yesterday was the low point of the season. That was even then, in that 6-2, the players came over and thanked us for our efforts. They didn't do that last night, and that truly disappointed me as a paying customer and as a fan of this team. One of the other things that really stood out for me as well was this quote from Coach Aaron Vinter, and I've been willing to give Coach Vinter the benefit of the doubt to a greater degree than a lot of other people, a lot of other pundits out there when it comes to all things TFC. He quoted right at the beginning of his press conference that he thought it was, quote, incredible that we lost a game we deserved to win. TFC didn't deserve to win that game last night. No way in hell. To their credit, they looked half decent in the first half. Again, lots of, for want of a better term, meaningless possession. No goals. A couple of decent chances, but nothing, of course, in the back of the net, which is at the end of the day what you're supposed to be doing, especially at home. So they go into the second half. In the 50th minute, on yellow card accumulation, one of their players at Seattle gets sent off. So for the last 40 minutes of the game, Toronto FC is up a man. How Coach Vinter, with all due respect, can say that it's incredible that we lost a game we deserve to win, when being up a man for almost half the game, Seattle outshot TFC 6-4. Was he watching the same game that we were? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't think he was. Very, very, very disappointed in him, and very disappointed, of course, in the players. With due respect to Mr. Vinter, who probably has forgotten more about football than I'll ever know, he's way off the mark. He was way off the mark with the substitutions, I think, last night. I think he was way off the mark with some of the tactics. Again, a lot of decent possession, but not a lot of meaningful, sort of incisive possession. Not a lot of as much running, positive running into space off the ball as I would have liked. Yes, Alan Gordon, who had an abdominal problem and wasn't able to play. Again, he's a bit delicate, a bit brittle. He's going to be out for a while. He wasn't there last night. Alan Stefanovic filled in, and that looks like the last time we're going to see Alan Stefanovic as well. Early Sunday morning, Toronto FC announced that Torino, which is the team in Serie B, them and Inter Milan that own Alan Stefanovic, have recalled him from his loan. So his loan is over at TFC. He's gone. A kid with his talent, not really fitting into the system here, was a little disappointing. But then again, there goes another striker for TFC, gone forever. Alan Gordon, of course, is very, very delicate. Maicon Santos is a number 10, not a number 9. So again, this team is going into a gunfight with a knife rather than a gun. So they need to get off their asses and get this team a striker, and get that striker yesterday rather than tomorrow. The game itself, again, I don't think I can take much of a positive from the result, other than the continued emergence of Donnell Henry. I mentioned him earlier. Of course, he actually was in on the that kind of soft-ish kind of tackle that led to a card, that led to a free kick that Seattle used late in the game to win. Frankly, deservedly so, with all due respect, the 3 points. Up until then, I thought he was man of the match for Toronto FC, in my opinion. He's big, he's strong, and he's looking more and more composed for an 18-year-old kid, and that's absolutely fabulous. Now, I saw somebody tweet today, and please forgive me, I forget who it was, posted that TFC right now sits in 16th place in Major League Soccer. The top 10 teams get into the playoffs. So for TFC to get to 10th place, there's only 3 points separating 16th from 10th. So even though they've only won 2 games out of 17, even though the team has drawn more than anything else, even though the team is disappointed significantly at home, even though the team hasn't had, and again, they've had some decent results, of course, with due respect to them, but they still haven't had that victory, that breakthrough on the road. And at this point, in the midpoint of their 5th season, TFC is in a worse position now than they've ever been in. Last night, the Vancouver Whitecaps won a game, so now they match TFC when it comes to wins, but yet we're still, of course, one of the absolute worst teams in the league. When I read that tweet, I'm like, 3 points? Not a lot, right? I've been pretty optimistic over the last little while about trying to keep the hopes alive. But after what I saw yesterday, I'm really of the belief that 3 points could be 50 points. A 50-point gap the TFC would have to make up. I really just am starting not to believe that there's an opportunity there for this club to actually pull it out. So, Coach Vinter, maybe you can go back and take a look at the tape. Maybe you can go back and pop the DVD in and pop open a cool one today and take a look at that game again, and ask me if you still believe that it was incredible that we lost a game that you think we deserve to win. We didn't deserve it. We didn't win. And now it comes down to the Voyageurs Cup, really, as our only opportunity to get anything, even small, out of this season. And good luck with that. So that's it. I'll have another video blog up later this week, after the Real Salt Lake game, which sees TFC go into arguably the most difficult place in all of Major League Soccer to get a point, with no Stefanovic, probably with no Gordon, with no Peterson, and hopefully with some news that there's going to be some new players on the way. Again, at this point, I'll believe it when I see it. Now that I've vented my spleen a little bit, I feel a little bit better. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to get this all posted and get on with my Sunday. Your dads, it's Father's Day. Make sure you give your dads a call. Make sure you tell your dads that you love them. Cheers, and we'll see you soon.